Okay, so there's some people that need stingers taken out. Valerie, you want to come and I'll take yours out. Yours is just, not just, but yours is the tennis elbow issue thing.
Which strain is this? Doesn't hurt at all. Oh, it's past.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for the markings.
Sir. You're welcome. Somebody else need their stingers taken out.
From the test?
Somebody's gotten, I think you're, yeah.
Triple burner point up here probably would.
Oh, you know all about?
Yeah.
You know all about this, huh? Okay, as long as we're, do you need ice?
No.
Okay. Let me just see if I can find anything that hurts. As long as I'm below her neck, I'm okay. Painful?
Yes, yeah, right there.
Okay, let me give you a choice. 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. That's what I thought. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, sting. Here you go.
Thank you so much. 20 minutes, yeah?
20 minutes. Right.
Okay, Carl's next.
And what we're going to imagine is the energy from that sting is going to flow down your arm. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, we can do a double at once.
Oh, yeah, it's like a double.
Double shot.
Yeah, well, I got the
Yeah.
foot of the one, and
Yeah, I know. That's happened to me. Sometimes you just have to start over.
there you go.
Okay, thank you.
We got it.
All right. Okay, so. All right. Do you have any major issues you want to work on?
My shoulders kind of hurt a little bit.
Okay.
Sore.
And when was the last time you were stung up there?
Very long time ago.
Very long time ago.
Years ago.
Okay. And remind me again, when was the last time you were stung?
6 months ago.
6 months ago. So other than the testing, you have not been stung
For 6 months.
for 6 months. Okay. All right, so I'll let you hold that. So I don't want to go above the neck. Can you give me an idea? Am I anywhere close to where it hurts?
Maybe closer to the spine.
Okay.
Like right in there.
Right there? Is it just on one side or both sides?
Both sides, but I only need one.
1, 2, 3, sting. She's choosing. Yeah, maybe sometimes you get lucky if you just tap them, but
Oh, okay. Even after they.
sometimes, yeah. It could be just that it's too much spray with water. Okay, so,
again.
yeah, we'll try again. So it's basically on both sides of the spine.
That's exactly.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, sting. Okay.
Only one?
No, we'll do one more. You want another one?
By the way, you hit it hit something.
And it's going down. The nerve is going. Great. Awesome.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Great. Okay, thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sting. Okay. Okay. All right, so you're all set.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Have you gotten your, did you want a real sting? You got a test sting. Did you want one that stays in a long time? Or you want to just stay? You want a real one? Okay, do you have any problems that you want to work?
I have a lot of spider vein.
Okay, so that's a spleen. Spleen. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in the mid-back and I'm going to try to hit a spleen point that's on the bladder meridian that's on your back, because I don't really want to go to the spleen meridian. I mean, I'd like to, but since I think this is like your first experience with bees, that I don't want to go to the front of the body on the first session. So, although I had my first stings in my private area in the hair, so, you know, so it's possible. But, all right, so why don't you come up here, and we'll turn this to the side, and then have your back to me. Yeah, so I'm going to sting your back. And are you wearing a bra? Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna kind of like tuck this in there. Okay. All right. Do you want any ice to numb the area? You're okay doing this? Okay. 1, 2, and 3. That bee chose where to sting. Okay. So, since this is your first session, we usually do a test sting and one sting, one real one for 20 minutes. So, and you're not a beekeeper, so you're not used to getting a lot of stings. Okay, so
227.
227, okay. Well, all right, so how are we doing on people who want to get stung?
We got them.
Next.
You're next?
Are coming in.
All right,
Lower back. Lower back
Lower
pain
back.
and leg pain.
okay, and, all right, so, and I didn't do a testing on you because you've
did.
been, oh, I did.
Tested me.
I tested, I forgot already. It's like, okay.
There's no mark there.
I don't even, I was like, I don't even see it. Okay, so let me feel around. The last time you were stung, how many stings did you get?
You did one testing.
No, but I mean before me.
Never.
Oh, okay, well then I'm not going below the waist. And you're only getting one more sting. Okay, you're not a beekeeper then, okay. All right, so now, yeah, today you're a beekeeper. Yeah, today you're a beekeeper, because once you get stung, you're a beekeeper. So I'm feeling for her waist, and I don't want to go below it, okay? All right, so, do you have any pain at all on your back?
My lower back and my legs, yes.
Okay. Is one side worse than the other?
The left side is worse.
Left side, so I'm changing my tactic.
So you go over, what, about an inch from the...
Yeah, about an inch from the spine. And you know what? When I went from the right to the left, this muscle is so tight, I can barely, like, do any kind of pressure. Do you feel that?
I feel
You
that.
can feel? It's like it's torqued. It's like the muscles on this side are very supple, and the muscles, this whole area. Wow, were you in a car accident, or did you have anything?
I injured my back years ago and I have scoliosis.
Oh, you have scoliosis, okay. Because the muscles on this side are very different than the muscles on this side. And I don't know if you would want people to feel it, but literally you can feel that there is a difference, and it goes all the way up too. So
You have
we're,
amazing posture, though. Your posture
yeah.
is very
Were you in a cast or something for scoliosis as a kid?
Never, no.
Okay. All right, so here's your real bee sting. 1, 2, 3, sting. There you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
The time?
Yeah, 20 minutes. And then we'll,
You're Larissa, right?
Thank you. You're Elsa.
Elsa. Okay.
Okay, then.
Would you mind number?
No. So you, shoulder.
I felt
Okay. And the last time that you were, let me
stung 5 days ago.
take this out of
And I
here.
get stung very often. like
Okay,
Eric.
when was the, how many stings did you get last time?
Probably about 4.
4.
Between 4
Okay,
and 6.
okay. Is it mostly one-sided?
Yes.
Okay,
Closer to the neck.
closer to the neck. Have you ever been stung on the neck?
Yes.
Am I pressing, am I close to where it hurts?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you a choice. 1, 2, or 3?
One.
1.
It's between 1 and 3, actually.
1 and 3, okay. All right, so here's, okay. 1, 2, 3, sting. There you go. Okay.
One. No, you have another one?
You want another? Just one?
I'll take a second.
Okay, you will take a second? Okay.
long as you're
Why not?
The pain is slightly there.
Oh, okay, so I'm going to go by the 3 now, okay?
Yeah.
Was that about the 3? So he's going to catch me another bee. Thank you very much. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sting. Okay, there you go. Now it's possible if you put your shirt down, we'll be really careful. It's possible. So wait 20 minutes and let me know, and then we'll take them out. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Who's next?
Jackie.
Jackie?
Drink some water. Drink some water first.
Me?
Yeah.
Drink some water?
Want to drink some water?
Yeah.
You be talking and talking.
You're so nice. So I can tell by you wanting to take care of me that that's your personality.
So there's some royal jelly for you.
Oh, thank you. I love you. Okay.
Wow, what is that?
Okay. So before we did any stings, she wanted me to have some water. So I already know she's a caretaking kind of person. You like to take care of people. You feel good about it. It's something that comes naturally to you, right?
Yeah.
Do you do some kind of work where you're taking care of people?
Yeah, I do hair.
You do hair. Oh,
Making everybody
well, I wore a
beautiful.
hat
But
today because I didn't have
I don't
time.
do my hair.
Okay, let me just put this here. Okay,
And because I'm doing hair, I have plantar fasciitis. That means I have a lot of pain here. It's like all of this area is like a lot of pain. It's
a lot of pain
Yeah.
because you're on your feet all day long doing
Exactly,
hair.
exactly.
Now, hang on a second. I did a testing on you, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been stung before?
Oh, yeah, we have like a 100 beehives in my property. Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever been stung on the foot before or the leg?
No.
Where
the
have you?
bees, the bees only come into my ear. Or then it's stinking in my face over here. You know,
So-
they do natural Botox.
So
Takes the wrinkles away, just like that.
I feel in an awkward position because usually I don't like to go to jump from someone who's used to getting stung like in their back, their shoulders, maybe their face, to jumping all the way to an extremity. Now, how long have you been a beekeeper?
No, I used to helping.
I'm the actual
He's
beekeeper.
the beekeeper
My
and
wife, she gets
I
stung in the yard because there's a lot of
Okay.
flies out there.
All right, so
I used to do honey and things like that. Bottle honey, that is the only things I do.
So, the last time you got stung with more than one bee at a time, how many stings did you ever get at one time?
Maybe 2.
2. Okay, so you don't have any other illnesses, chronic
No.
illnesses. You don't have
I
autoimmune
used to have a lot
disease.
of pain in my shoulder because I spend the whole day like this.
That's right, with a hair dryer
And I
and
have a lot
curler
of pain in both of my feet.
in both your feet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Issues?
do you have any scars?
The only scalp I have is over here, and I don't think I don't want bee.
No, I don't want to. No, I usually
I don't
don't.
want any bee in
No.
my boobs. I don't want to
Call
be,
them
I don't want to be so only more than one.
Boobies, boobies, right?
I don't want to be so only more than one this right
Okay.
now.
All right, so I feel a little more comfortable doing your shoulders because otherwise I'm jumping all the way from sort of the upper body to the feet, even though you could eventually go down there and have your husband creep all the way down and just do a
I mean,
testing.
if I'm going to do like in my feet, where I need to stink?
On your feet, I would sting where it hurts. Or you could
I mean, directly to
directly where it hurts, or there's an acupuncture point right here. and it's the only point on the foot. Let me do it with my fingernail. You feel that? Okay, that's kidney 1.
Okay.
If you did that point, it might help the whole foot. Okay?
Okay.
Or when you get to the point where you're stinging the low back, the nerves in the low back will go down to the feet. But
Maybe
right
you need to do in the low back again?
at some point, but I wouldn't go below the waist too early because you haven't really had enough stings to build up, like at least a month to do from the big bump, you know, the edge of your neck to your waist, and then you could slowly start creeping down. Or if you wanted to, I would do a shoulder sting today.
Okay.
We'll do 1 shoulder sting,
Okay.
but it has to be below your neck. Okay? So let's see, which is your worst side?
Here.
That side. Okay. And I just have to make sure. Am I okay for the camera?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Can you feel this at all? Is it further out?
Here.
Okay.
There, when you put
Further
it
out? Like by your bra strap?
Like,
Uh-huh.
Like for my bra.
The only thing is that when you wear your bra, it's gonna, if it's itching, the bra strap is gonna rub against it. So I hope you don't have to work tomorrow.
I take it off.
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna do 1 sting. 1, 2, 3, sting. There you go.
Wait a minute. You that lady there?
Yep, you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Does it feel hot, spicy burn?
Hot, spicy bone, more spicy than the food I eat.
So what you can do is you can stay, if you're going to sting her, stay in the mid-back, and then over time, after let's say a month or so, twice a week, you want some ice?
Like every Tuesday, Friday, or
Something,
every
yeah.
Monday, Thursday,
Something like that. And because she doesn't have Lyme disease and she doesn't have anything super serious, it's just repetitive motion or standing on her feet too long or using the hair dryer, the curling iron or something.
Right.
So eventually you're going to come down to her low back
Towards that
and,
side where the
and
foot.
do 1 testing at a time and then do the rest on the back. And the next
So
session.
How many stings per session?
For her, I
start,
don't
like,
think
at
you-
2 and then go up to like 4 maybe.
Yeah,
after
maybe-
a week or 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah, something like that. But with her, I don't think you really need to do that. It's not the number of stings. It's just keeping the venom in the system. And then, because your goal is to get down to the foot. So it might take you 3 weeks to get all the way down to the foot. But you're going to stay on the back for maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
So where you stung me, now I feel it going all the way down to the foot.
Okay, why don't you explain that? So
Where I was stung at the lowest point.
for the scar.
On my scar, I feel it going down the leg into my feet now. So
Wow.
I feel the nerve. The nerve's been,
Do you want me to take your stingers out?
they already did.
Oh, okay.
How often should she get stung?
I would sting 3 times a week and get rid of that scar, because you're not going to get well, and you're not going to feel better until that scar is totally
So how
gone.
many on the scar? How many stings?
Well,
Just build up?
just build up. I mean, you do. What did we do today? 3. Okay. Let me just hold this for a sec. So you do 3 times. Then, if you want, you could jump to 5 3 times. But if that feels like too much, you could go back to 4. So you either go up by 1 or you go up by 2.
Right, it's interesting because you did it right on the scar, but I'm feeling the nerve in my right, all the way
Because
down to
the
my
bee
foot.
venom goes where it's needed most.
So I got the nerve damage in the right leg.
And that's where it's going.
That's where it went.
Even though I was tempted to sting more on the right side with you to help you, I didn't have to, because the bee venom
It
went where it needed to go. Right, awesome. That was really a miracle. I really loved that. Okay, so you're next. Okay, so what are we doing today?
So I had neck pain and hand pain.
Okay, and you had a testing.
I had a testing. I've been stung hundreds of times.
Okay.
At
Have you
one
ever?
time, I got stung hundreds of times. It was that
Okay,
sad.
say that into the
So at one time, when I was a new beekeeper, I got stung probably 400 times in this
Okay.
one moment.
All right. So the last time that you were stung, how many stings did you get?
Probably just once. I mean, other than the testing
Yeah.
today, probably just once, and that was probably a few months ago, 7 months ago.
Okay. All right. So she got maybe one sting a couple months ago beside the testing we did today. So let's focus on, you said your shoulders.
I have a lot of pain everywhere, but mainly my neck and my hands, like I have where I'm a massage therapist, and I do a lot of hand, other kind of work.
Have you ever gotten stung on your hands?
I don't think I have.
Okay, then I don't want to jump there.
Okay.
Okay, so I would rather do the shoulders and have the venom go down by itself to the hands. Because if I sting your hands and you haven't been stung there in a while, if they blow up, you won't be able to do your massage for a week.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I also have a scar. Is a scar, is that the,
Scars block energy.
is that the first thing you have to address? Like
Not necessarily, it depends. Okay, well, we could do one sting there on the scar, and maybe we could do one sting.
I mean, I'm not worried. It doesn't seem to bother me. It's, maybe it's messing everything else up, but
Yeah.
this was done in 1977 by a very brilliant doctor.
Okay, so she has a scar by her knee, you have shoulder pain, and you have neck pain, and you have hand pain. And that this is more from all the massage you're doing, probably, like repetitive.
I think I'm genetically predisposed to
Oh, I
arthritis.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so, and the last time you were stung, you only got
By
one sting, so we don't want to do a whole lot of stings.
Okay.
So, I mean, with the scar, you could probably do that yourself very easily.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes.
So why don't I try to help you do something that's hard for you to do, like even stinging your hands, you could do that yourself.
Yes.
But let me try to do something that would be harder for you to do. Okay? So let's see if we can find a shoulder point that works. Let's see, maybe, is one shoulder worse than the other? Neck?
You feel which shoulder you think.
This feels tight.
Yeah, my right side usually is always tight.
Okay, this feels really, really tight here. Okay, all right.
She's dead, but
She might sting.
yeah.
Dead bees do sting if their stinger mechanism is intact. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sting. Let's see if she stings.
I don't think so.
No, I guess not. Oops, wait a minute.
There she goes.
I pulled it away and she stung. Okay. I can see it. You got it. Okay,
A little bit, not that bad.
not that bad. I could do one more on the other side, or
Whatever you want, whatever
what,
your expertise. My whole body usually.
I have to soak it in a hot tub for 4 hours in order to jump.
this feels very supple on this side. So this side feels like it's very tight, like the trapezius muscles and all that. Oh my gosh. How about this? I'll give you a choice. Let me get the microphone for a sec. Okay, I'm going to give you a choice. 1, 2, or 3.
Probably 3.
3?
It all hurts, but 3 is probably the most painful.
1, 2, 3, sting. Okay.
You did a better job than
Yeah.
one before that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And then you're going to sting your own scar, but you're going to take a picture before and after, right?
Okay, and I'll post it on you.
Yeah, you'll take pictures before and after, and then keep us apprised of your scar progress.
20 minutes from now, you'll get to pull them out.
Hi, I'm Teresa.
Hi. So,
You can have your choice.
You have
right
shoulder?
shoulder
or hip.
right hip, yeah.
Well, what's interesting in Chinese medicine, that if you sting one shoulder on, let's say the left shoulder, it'll help the right hip.
Awesome.
So actually, when was the last time you were stung?
Sunday. It'll be a week
Sunday?
tomorrow.
And how many stings did you get?
At least 3,
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
you know.
Oh, Okay.
face
And hands
and
and,
wrist and ankle.
oh gosh. All right. And you've had some vitamin C recently?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with that shoulder
Okay.
and just see how we do.
You do it directly into the shoulder, or you want my back?
I want to find out where it's hurting because you've had lots of stings, so I'm not too worried that, you're going to have a problem. Is it more in the front or more in the back?
Right there.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, there's.
1, 2, 3, sting. Go. Okay.
It's like a
All
TB
right.
test.
How did that feel? All right?
Fine, yeah.
It's okay?
Yep.
All right. Do you have any other parts of your shoulder that hurt other than that
On
one
this
spot?
shoulder? No.
Yeah.
No,
How
I
about the
have-
other shoulder?
I have weird numbness all the way down here. Had it forever, and
Okay.
no one ever says anything good about it.
Weird numbness. Okay.
They say, "Oh yeah, you've got scratches on it." Yeah.
Oh. What is this redness here?
I don't know.
What is this a scar?
No, I've never had any cuts or surgery. When I go to the dermatologist, they're like, "Oh, you must have." All right.
There's what looks like a scar right there. You see how it's sort of bleached out? So my instinct is telling me to sting that area because there's something unusual there.
To the right of it, because that would feel awesome.
To the right of it?
To the right of that side. 'Cause
Okay.
That's the side that hurts.
Okay.
It's not gonna hurt. It's,
You want over here,
yeah, that would be
right there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, sting.
Yeah, you could probably put 15 on there and I wouldn't feel it. That's how weird it is.
It's not for some reason. Let me just try.
Try this one.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, and sting.
There you go.
Okay.
Do you feel that?
No,
Really?
no.
One more?
Okay. You want another?
If you don't mind going up one,
Going up a little higher?
yeah.
Okay.
Is that the mojo? It moves up
Um,
on that.
that pathway moves down, actually, but I can go up if you need it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird because I've gone to a bunch of, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, go to a neurologist." Well, I'm not going to a neurologist. And I
One.
said, "You got a scar."
2, 3. Any of those hurt?
No,
You said
it
you.
doesn't hurt. It's just totally
Oh, the
numb.
numbness.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm feeling like a muscle, like it's like.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
I was looking at
2,
3.
3.
Here we go. There you go.
Super. Now
Okay.
I'm on the clock for 20 minutes.
Yep, 20-minute clock.
Thanks so much.
minutes. I have 20 minutes.
Okay, you want me to take them out?
Yeah, it's Glenn.
Okay, so I'm going to take some stingers out. Oh, nice. So if anybody wants to see a good first sting, there's a nice red reaction. It's called a wheal, W-H-E-A-L. And the bee, basically, I was aiming for another spot, and the bee chose to twist its body and sting there. So I'm going to use a special tweezers, the one for taking out, pointy ones, and I'm going to slide the stinger along the skin.
Perfect.
Okay.
Did you just have one sting or is it?
Yes, just
Okay,
one,
Just one?
because it was your first time. Thank you very much.
Next up is Glenn.
Glenn,
back.
you're back.
So, I get, like, when I work the hives, like, within the last week, I've got, like, 6 stings, and then 2 days ago, I got just 1 sting.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
But you could do...
You could go anywhere.
6.
Okay. So,
Give
do
me,
you
like,
need help with something?
just, I was thinking if you could do it like a lime treatment.
A Lyme
And then
treatment.
I could continue that.
Okay.
And then Kathy can launch the one with the camera. She
Okay.
She can
Okay. So we're going to do sort of a classic Lyme treatment, and we're going to do 6 stings because he's been stung. His last session, he had like 20 stings, so he's had plenty of recent stings. So I'm going to pretend that you've been doing stings for a while as a Lyme patient, and today we're up to 6 stings. So I'm going to be staying on your back. I'm going to be above your waist and below your neck, and I'm going to go about 1 inch out from the spine, and I'm going to do 3 on each side. Okay? All right, so we need 6 bees. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sting. 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 And 1, 2, 3, sting. There you go. Okay. So we just did 6 stings, 3 on each side, and this would be for a Lyme patient who had been stinging for a while and was up to 6 stings 3 times a week. So this would be a typical treatment for a Lyme patient. Okay. All right. Anybody that I missed that needs to get stung?
Mike was wanting to get stung.
Oh, Mike. All right.
20 minutes, sir.
All right, so when was the last time you were stung?
Monday.
Monday, okay. So do you have any issues that you want to work on?
Yes. So I talked about the psoriatic arthritis, and that went away about 20 years ago. I've had psoriasis, though, since then. And for the last year, I've changed my diet to work on the leaky gut syndrome and to repair the walls of the small intestine.
Right.
And my psoriasis is the best it's been in 20 years, so it's improving a lot. But I think I need a breakthrough. I think I've seen a lot of improvement in the first part of the year of trying this, protocol, and now I'm seeing less good results. And so I don't know what's happening.
Where was the last time you were stung? How many stings did you do, and where were they?
Oh, that was Monday, and maybe 10 stings on my ankle, but that was for just pain in my ankle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when was the last time you stung for the problems you feel are starting to not really improve?
I haven't been recently because
maybe that's one of the reasons that.
Be, yeah.
Okay. So where did you used to sting that made it work? That made your leaky gut and the small intestine better?
Well, I was stinging in and around the areas of my legs and arms where I have the psoriasis.
Okay, so you were stinging for psoriasis, but it was helping the leaky gut and the small intestine? Am I?
Well, I think I was mainly treating the leaky gut with diet.
Oh.
And then using the stings close to the areas that have psoriasis. And then I was thinking, should I be doing something along the small intestine meridian or some of the others? And sometimes I get confused because I'm not a healthcare professional, and so the topics in acupuncture are compelling, but I kind of lose my way sometimes with it.
Okay, so it's interesting because what you're describing about being confused and losing your way is the small intestine.
Okay.
That's a sign of the small intestine. The small intestine. So, for example, do you ever? I'm just going to ask you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel, maybe I'll do this? Well, no, I think I'll do that. Well, I could do this. In other words, like you have so many options, you can't make a decision about, it's not a decision between black and white. It's more like, well, I could do this, but I could go to the movies, or I could go to the beach. Well, I could go visit my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have like too many choices, like you're overwhelmed with choices. Does that?
I wouldn't say that's not a regular problem for me.
So when you say you feel confused, can you describe that?
Well, in terms of treating myself.
Right.
That's some of my confusion. So sometimes, where to staying, and sometimes maybe I just lose patience, and that might be a problem. That leads to the confusion. Yeah.
Losing patience. Okay, so patience goes with the wood element, which is the liver and the gallbladder. Okay, and the gallbladder also helps with making decisions. Okay, so have you ever stung the front of your chest? Have you ever? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to start a new chapter in your life?
There are times when I feel that way, but yeah, I think we all do. So I think,
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
How about Gate of Hope? Would you like a little bit of hope?
You know, that sounds great.
That sounds great?
That sounds like
okay.
what I need, yeah.
So you want a sense of direction, and you want a plan, and you want to... Okay, so we're going to do liver 13 and liver 14, and it's on the front of the body. It's by the rib cage. And I'm really glad we're doing this, and it's being videotaped, because this is very hard to describe, like on Facebook or when I'm trying to teach people at a distance how to find the points, because some of the acupuncture books put liver 14 in a place that I wasn't taught to put it. So you're going to give me a chance to really share with people the right place to put liver 13 and 14. So how does that sound? It's going to be on your chest. And you have a choice. You could do 2 stings or you could do 4 stings.
Let's go for 4.
4,
yeah.
Okay. We're going to go for 4 stings. So we're going to do liver 13 and 14 on both sides, because they're bilateral, okay? And do you feel like you have very low energy? No. Do you feel like you've got too much energy? No. You feel just right. You feel just right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So we've got 4 Bs, and we're going to have you lift up your shirt. And I think I might need somebody to help me with a microphone, just only because this is a very special treatment. It's an entry-exit treatment on the liver, and it helps you kind of get unstuck.
Okay.
And it's a very important treatment, and most people need it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
And I rarely sting my chest and the front of my body, because I just am sometimes worried about the pain, and just sometimes I'm not.
Do you want ice?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to get up a little bit, and I'm going to move a little closer. Maybe I'll move my chair closer. Mm-hmm. And so liver 13, what is this right here? Is that like a little?
That's a psoriasis.
Oh, that's a psoriasis.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's kind of close to where I was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So I'm feeling the rib cage, but what I'm really looking for now is the last floating rib right there. Does that feel a little tender or anything?
Sure does, yeah.
Yeah. So this is liver 13. It's on the very tip of the last, of the last rib, but it's a floating rib. It doesn't attach, to the xiphoid process there in the sternum. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, sting. Okay. So now you're getting a special treatment because you take care of everybody else. So now somebody is taking care of you.
Thank you.
It's your time. It's your turn, okay? All right, so we did liver 13, and now we're going to look for the front part of the rib cage. And we're looking for, a lot of books put it directly down from the nipple. So I'm letting you know that's not where I do liver 14. It's not directly down from the nipple. It's on the edge of the rib cage. So I'm feeling along, and what I'm looking for, and you have to only get it by feel, is like a little dip in It feels like it's right there. Does that feel like a little bit tender at all?
The spot next to it felt more tender.
This one?
No, to the
This
right.
one?
Yes.
That. Okay. So that's liver 14. 1, 2, 3 sting. Okay. So we're opening up his liver pathway. And there's something in Chinese medicine that's called stagnant liver qi. It's like when your energy just stagnates. And it's like, you know, actually the liver has a lot to do with feeling a little bit lost. You know, it's like you don't have a plan and a sense of direction, and you kind of just, you know, making it up as you go along type thing. Right. So now we're going to help you make some good decisions, whatever they are. I don't know what they are for you, but right. We're helping you make good decisions. Okay, so we're going to find now the last floating rib, okay, on this side. So we feel for the rib cage.
You need to turn.
Maybe, yeah, if you could turn just a tiny bit towards me. Maybe it'd be better for people to see on the video, too.
That's good.
And, you know, I'm just looking to see where the psoriasis is. So it's just interesting to see that it's kind of close to. So I'm going, this is the last floating rib right here.
Both those last two spots were sensitive.
Yeah.
Especially that one.
That one is more sensitive. Okay, 1, 2, 3, sting. Okay, and now we're going to go to, that was chapter gate. So we're opening up to the next chapter in your life. So what here's what I want you to, and everybody to think about. If your life were a book, what would the title be? And what chapter are you on right now? And remember that only you can write the next chapter. So what we're doing is we're helping you write that next chapter, because that one's called Chapter Gate, and then we're going to go look for Gate of Hope. So I'm just going to tell you, here are some points where there's sort of a dip, and you tell me if any of them feel tender.
The second one felt the most tender.
Right around there?
This one, yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, sting. Not yet. At the moment it's a dud. Let's see. Sometimes if you press the rear end. No. She just.
No.
Now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It was like, but it didn't stay in.
Try another one.
All right. Let's try.
No hope for you.
Well, that gate of. Oh, thanks. That particular gate of hope was a little bit rusty, you know.
Got to oil it a little.
Yeah, we had to hit it twice to open it up.
It was almost open.
Right there. 1, 2, 3, sting. Yep. Yay. So this is really a very magical treatment. And then if we were going to do more, I'm not suggesting we do, but if we were going to do more, the very next point to do is lung 1, which is under the clavicle, and it's about 1 inch down. And so the next time you do a treatment on yourself, that would be fairly easy. You could look in the mirror, and you could look for a tender spot.
That is tender.
That is tender right there. So that's lung 1. So what you're doing is you're opening up. Do you wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning or in the middle of the night or anything?
No.
Okay, because sometimes when this is blocked, sometimes people wake up that time. Okay. So, but I would do the entry point on the lungs as part of your next treatment for yourself. And in 20 minutes, we'll take those out. Okay?
That's great. Thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
you just do that if somebody were to say to you, I just have this feeling of loss, and
I feel like I'm lost.
so somebody could just sit down and that's the way you would approach it?
I might, but if they had never been stung before, I probably wouldn't start on the front. You know, but if it was a beekeeper came in and said they felt they were lost, and they felt they couldn't see the forest for the trees, and they felt irritable, and they felt frustrated, and they couldn't make any decisions. I mean, if you read in the workbook or in Be in Balance, if you actually read under the wood element, you'll see what goes with the liver and the gallbladder. And, you know, also, for example, the eyes go with the gallbladder. So somebody telling me they're having eye problems or they're having one-sided problems. All their problems are all on one side. I don't care what they are. Headaches, tennis elbow, hip pain, everything that's one-sided, it's always gallbladder because it's the only pathway that runs on the side of the body. So it doesn't matter what the problem is. And those of you who got the paperwork, you know, that was handed out today that has the Chinese clock in it, you know, it shows you the time of day for each pathway. So it's sometimes powerful to sting at the time of day, but you have to remember right now we're in daylight savings, so you have to subtract an hour. So in the fall, when we go back to regular time, then, you know, it would just be whatever time it was. But, so that it'll be interesting. Maybe you could let me know how you feel.
Already it feels fantastic.
Really? Can you describe how you feel?
I mean, the feeling is just a fantastic feeling of warmth that's spreading in like a semicircle around this part of the body. Yeah, it feels great.
Great.
It's really nice.
Huh. Awesome. That's terrific. Now, is there somebody that I'm supposed to be stinging, or I'm supposed to take out your sting? Okay, removal. Okay.
Yeah, everybody on the list, we've gone through the list.
Okay, so everybody else now is removal. Okay. Okay.
It feels good.
It feels good?
Wow.
Oh, nice. So it feels good.
The elbow still hurts, but everything relaxed.
Yeah. Why don't you say that into the microphone?
My elbow still is tender, but the whole shoulder area, everything relaxed.
Okay. Relaxed, just from one sting. Relaxed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you can start eventually working your way down to the elbow.
I definitely will.
Okay? But my guess is by the time you get to the elbow, after a couple stings on the elbow, you'd be pain-free. Yeah, my guess. Just my guess.
Have you ever treated vasculitis?
Yeah. Just, I've treated everything under the sun. I've never seen bee venom fail for any ailment. I don't know why. It's not about me. It's just the venom is very powerful. So, but you just start with a protocol. You start really easy. You go slow. You don't push the river. You know, so you start on the back.
Had it, and they thought it was Lyme's for 2 weeks.
Oh my
And
gosh.
eventually they had to do fibrillation on me.
Oh.
They gave me 36 hours to come out of it. I never did get it answered. And I actually spoke to a doctor at NIH.
Why don't you speak into the mic for a minute?
26 years ago, I had an episode I never thought I would have, and that was, in the end, it was declared a vasculitis. Vasculitis is a very broad term. There's many aspects to it. But initially, they thought that I had Lyme's disease. Before the whole ordeal was over, I was in the hospital 13 days. My body literally, I thought I had elephant man's disease, because every joint on my body, including the cheeks, the forehead, arms, legs, toes, everything, just became one huge knob. Wow. And I also had the whorls, the bullseye. So for that reason,
Wow.
they treated me for Lyme's. In the end, for 1 year, I was on 280 milligrams of steroids a day. Oh. I had to wear my husband's clothes. I lost all my hair, and it burned out my esophagus. I'm still on a hunt for this. I'm in remission, quote unquote. And Janet Leigh, the famous actress, died of it. Norman Cousins, the Pulitzer Prize winner, also had it. And I've since met other people who've passed away. I feel very fortunate. And in part, I'm really trying to soak up apitherapy, apiculture for this. Can I get to the root of that?
Mm.
So I don't know what you can tell me about it, but that's a story.
I would treat you for Lyme disease. That's what I would do. I would use the Lyme protocol and act as if, let's start with that and see if after 6 to 12 months, if you noticed any change at all.
That's 26 years ago.
I don't care. There's something that I haven't mentioned at all, and it's called retracing. And I need to tell you about this. It's a homeopathic philosophy. First of all, you have to take something that's chronic, something that's old, 26 years old, and you have to raise it up to an acute level. So let me give you an example in psychology. If you're really angry with your father, but the anger is so old and so buried, it's 26 years old, or 30 years old, from stuff that he did, when you were a kid, you can't really heal something that's like that old, because it's hard to get to it, It's like way down at the bottom of the sea. But if you raise it up to an acute level, let's say your father calls you on the phone and you're furious, then you can actually work on it. In therapy, you can actually, do a little work on it. So with honeybees, what we're doing is basically that. We're taking something that's very old and very chronic, and we're bringing it up to an acute level. Now, what might happen, and I'm just warning in advance, not just, even if it's not Lyme, but let's say, for example, it was Lyme, okay? Then you would go through herxing, feeling like you had the flu, that kind of thing. If you were doing a lot of bee stings, and you would, on the alternate days, you would be doing detox. So that's one reaction you might have, would just be, you're killing if there's a pathogen in there, like I had Salmonella typhimurium, like 35 years ago. So, sometimes I think when I sting like that, working on that, because they say it stays with you for life, like you never get rid of it. But I would say that there's another philosophy that's called retracing, and what happens is you go back in time and you retrace some of your old symptoms. So you would have to be prepared if you were going to do, whether you use a Lyme protocol or whether you're just purposely stinging yourself for bees to try to heal whatever this is, which we don't know exactly what it is. We're calling it something, but we're not really sure what it is. But if it involves working with you on a deep level, you might retrace some of the old symptoms, and you would have to be prepared that some of that swelling, that some of those old things from 26 years ago might come back. And you can't get well unless you go through the retracing process. It's a process that's known very well in homeopathy, but it works in acupuncture. And I'll just give you just a small example of myself. When I was very young, I was allergic to poison ivy very badly, and I lived in the country, and they would burn it. In those days, they burnt the poison ivy, okay? And I would get it from the fumes. It would come, from the next house over, they would burn it, and the fumes, I'd get it all over my body. I was like a leper. When I started getting acupuncture treatments, in order to go to acupuncture school, you have to get treatments yourself to go through the experience, and it has to be, the school I went to made you go to certain kind of acupuncturist, a 5-element acupuncturist, because that was the kind of school I was going to. And every place they put the needle, I got poison ivy, even in the middle of the winter. And that has happened with other people that I know as well, that they've gotten poison ivy in the middle of the winter if they had poison ivy as a kid. So what happens with a lot of people who are going to watch this video, who are on my Facebook page, really understand there are two things that happen. One is herxing for Lyme, or if you're killing any kind of pathogen, you're going to get a die-off, okay? And it's not pleasant, it's like you feel like, that's what retracing is about. So, it's almost like I want to apologize to you in advance that if you decide to do bee venom therapy on a regular basis, you might say, I feel like I'm getting worse. But what it might be is that you're retracing your old symptoms. So you would have to write it out on a piece of paper and, you know, put it on your mirror or something, that if I feel worse, it's probably retracing, you know, something like that. Or if it turns out you do have Lyme disease, it might be herxing, but that's going to feel like the flu, which is not what you were describing. You weren't describing a flu. You were describing other symptoms. So I want you to make a list of the other symptoms if you decide to do bee venom therapy as a real medicine for yourself. And what I want you to do is make a list of all those symptoms you had, and if they show up again, check them off. Check them off. Go through each of them and see if you don't necessarily have to retrace all your symptoms, okay? So I don't want to scare you too much, but you might, retrace a few. And it might be so scary that you might feel like you're going backwards, but you're not. You're actually, you know how they say if you're going through a really hard time, like you have to go right through it, rather than going like around it, like to solve a problem, you have to just go right through the problem. So you have to go right through it, even if it's retracing, and it's not fun, and you're wearing a husband's shirts or something again. But you can always call me, and I'll give you a pep talk. Okay? All right. So anybody left with stingers in? You have one in? Okay.
Amber, we have one more person that wants to get stung.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right. Feeling good? Now, here's a question. There they are. Yeah, so let me just say, he's got some nice wheals, and so it's a little bit of swelling and a little bit of redness, and that's totally normal, and that's not an allergy. I don't care, the bigger the reaction, the better, but because he's a beekeeper, he's not going to get as big a reaction as a person who's never been stung before. Okay. Okay, now you want to be stung.
Wait,
she's
she's
having
having
a
a
little
reaction.
removed,
She's
yeah.
having a little reaction.
You're having a reaction?
It's normal for me, but I'm itchy as all get out, so.
Oh.
And my hands are all red. So I got one in my shoulder and two on my back.
So maybe that was too much for you. Do you need some Benadryl?
No, I don't want to stop.
Okay.
You know, ordinarily, if I was at home, I would be doing that, but after what you said, pump the brakes, I want to go ahead and go through the reaction, do the benefits of it.
How long? It's been more than 20 minutes, though, right?
It's probably been about 20.
Okay. Are you having any trouble breathing?
No.
Not at all.
No.
So it's just.
No, it's just mad itching, and.
Your chest is red.
Yeah.
Your back is red.
Let me see your feet.
This is how I usually
Is this how you usually go?
Yeah.
This is normal for you.
This is normal for me.
Okay. But if it wasn't normal for her, I'd be saying, I don't care how you feel about it. I would give you Benadryl.
Okay.
You know, so do you want a Benadryl capsule? We have some.
Yeah, I'll take one for the ride home. I'm driving back to Broward.
How far away is that?
Oh, it's Broward.
Well, I mean, but I live in New York, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a little closer than that.
It's about a 40 minutes.
It's 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have an EpiPen with you?
No, I've never needed it before. I get stung. I have like 20 hives.
No. But I understand.
Yeah.
But in general, it's really good idea for all beekeepers to always have an EpiPen with you. Only because you could develop an allergy at any time.
Yeah.
So part of what I'm doing right now is talking to you, and it might seem like I'm just having a conversation, but I'm observing you and I'm making a decision in my mind whether I think you might need, if this is normal for you to get that red.
Itchy palms and
Okay, how much vitamin C have you had? today?
2,000.
2,000?
Yeah, plus a supplement, you know, regular vitamin.
Okay.
I don't know what's in a regular
One more.
Centrum or whatever.
We're giving you some more vitamin C.
Okay.
Okay?
I still have 3 stingers.
So let's take the stingers out,
Okay.
but you're going to get some more vitamin C.
Okay.
Then I'm going to sting the other lady, but I want you to sit up in the front row
Okay.
because I might decide to give you Benadryl.
Okay.
I have it here,
Okay.
but I might decide to do that.
Okay.
But as long as you're not having trouble breathing,
No.
it's not an emergency,
No,
but
no.
we don't want it to become an emergency.
Sure.
Okay? So Barry's going to give you, do you have a cup of water?
I have a bottle,
Okay.
a bottle here. You can just bring, this is mine.
Okay, so why don't you turn around and let me take out your stingers.
Fair skin people more susceptible to.
That's the thing too. Yeah. Yeah. Una? And I think to the right.
Oh, wow. Look at this. It's like a sunburn.
Yeah, that's normal for me. It's normal for me.
That's normal for her.
If I take niacin,
Yeah, you flush.
my kneecaps and everything. Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a huge reaction.
We did. Oh, here it is. Here.
The non-flushing doesn't work on me.
Niacinamide.
It's still flush. It's just Irish.
Okay, so yeah, all your stings are out. Your back is really red,
Yeah.
and I'm going to keep an eye on you while I sting that person out.
Okay.
I'm having like.
I'm taking her spot. I was stung Sunday, so.
You were stung on Sunday, so you don't need a testing. Okay, and how many stings did you have on Sunday?
Just one on the finger.
Just one on the finger. Did it swell up real big? Not too bad. And the last time before that, how many stings did you have?
I've always just gotten one, but I've gotten them on the face and different areas.
So you've gotten them in different areas. Do you have any chronic ailments? Do you have any scars?
I've got the C-section scars, but right now I'm just having acute, I've had it in the past, but it's like kind of a flare-up of my neck.
But it's a chronic condition?
I've had it in the past. I probably haven't had it for several years, but it's just a recent flare-up.
Okay, well, why don't you come up here? And you said you had a scar. Do you have a C-section scar?
Yes.
Okay.
So
How old is your child?
11.
11? Okay. So you're pointing to your shoulder, but I'm worried about your scar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you got to be right on the front there. Can I just look at your scar, even if you don't want anybody else to see? Is it goes across?
Hi.
Okay, so it's horizontal, not vertical.
Horizontal.
And it doesn't look like it's like the other lady who had this
it's not a
scar.
bad scar.
It's not really a bad scar. It's not, it's not discolored or anything like that. How are you feeling?
Good, thank you.
You sure? Does the vitamin C feel good when you drank it?
Yes.
Did it make a difference? Did it?
It's very refreshing.
It's refreshing. I don't know.
I'm a nurse, so it's good.
Okay. And I've got, oh, good. Okay. Yeah. We might send you home with some Benadryl just for the drive if at some point, and I could even give you an EpiPen if you felt like you were worried.
I'm not worried.
You're not worried, but I think
I might
maybe.
take you up on the Benadryl.
Okay. Because, it's like you're not having any trouble breathing, but it is like you're having a systemic reaction, but it doesn't lead to anaphylactic shock, but it's like your body is like almost hypersensitive, considering that you're a beekeeper, right? Your body's hypersensitive to bee venom, in a sense. Or you have a really good immune system. How is your immune system?
Great, thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it might just be that you have a really good immune system and your body's having a fantastic reaction,
Having a field day.
Right. So what we might do, when you finish your vitamin C, we could put like a little bit of Benadryl in your bottle, and you could take it with you, and on the way home, if you feel like you need it, you can always have some, okay? And that would be sort of a compromise. All right. Okay, so
How long do you stay
Well, if you're usually eating Benadryl by now, then we should be giving you
Well,
Benadryl.
I'm trying to eke out the benefits of all this venom.
Oh.
And it's not, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I feel like I just took niacin. And that's about maybe an hour.
Is that eek spelled E-E-K?
Yeah, kind of.
I think we're going to give you some Benadryl in a little bottle to take home.
Okay.
And before you leave, I'm going to make sure, I might decide to give it to you before you leave. You know, but I also, you know, Benadryl can make you sleepy. So I want to make sure you can get home.
Can I drink coffee?
No, because you just had the vitamin C. You can't have coffee. Okay, I'm going to just put this microphone down, and we're going to try to look to see where on the shoulder we can find something. And do you want one or do you want two?
I prefer two. I'll
Okay.
leave that up to you.
All right, we'll
Maybe
start
expert.
with one, and we'll see what happens. This shoulder? Okay. 1, 2, or 3?
One.
1.
I mean, it all hurts.
It all hurts, but
One is probably.
okay. 1, 2, 3, sting. There you go. Do you feel that? Okay. Do you want another one?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much. 1, 2, and 3.
2.
When I press on here, I can feel the muscles very tight. Very
hard
tight.
To turn my head.
There we go. Okay.
And could I ask for migraines? Where would you
Where would I sting for
sting
migraines?
for migraines?
Where do you have them? And
I'm right side.
and they're always on the right side.
Right
Do you have
behind my
any?
eye.
Do you have any other problems on the right side of your body? No. So one-sided headaches. Headaches in general are the wood element, which is the gallbladder and the liver. But if it's only one-sided, it's gallbladder. So what I would do, I wouldn't do it right now, but there's a great point, like right in your eye socket here. But I would start with the testing. But I'd work my way up. Have you ever been stung on the neck?
No, just the face.
Just the face. You've been. Okay, so maybe the next time a bee will be the doctor and the bee will sting you right here. And this is a point somebody was saying the other day. They don't feel like they have enough hours in the day. Kevin, was that you? I don't remember. You don't feel like you have enough hours in the day? This is the point I was talking about. Gallbladder 1. You don't have enough hours. Does that feel a little tender at all?
Yeah.
So you could actually do some acupressure on that.
Yeah.
If
And
you
when I
wanted
do
to.
get them, I do kind of press. Right there and
Press.
it gives
Okay,
some
hold on
relief.
1 second. There's another point right here in between the index finger and the thumb, right here, for headaches. It's just a first aid point, an emergency first aid point. If you don't have anything with you, to help yourself. Here, okay, that's the first aid point, a pressure point for first. And then there's one on your foot as well. Okay, so take off your sandals for a second. And lift up your
pedicures.
Okay, they look better than my feet. Okay, you see right between the big toe and the second toe? Right in here. Liver 3. This is another point. Does that feel kind of tender?
Yeah, very much.
So you can do these, prophylactically. You can do them in terms of, try to head off headaches, migraines. Then over here you've got a gallbladder point. So you could take a look, if you have my handout that I gave out, you could look and see, or the workbook, or just go on Google and Google the gallbladder pathway or something like that, and it'll show up. The whole pathway goes all up the hip and the side of the leg. But liver 3, and then the one here, large intestine 4, are the main points for migraines. But if you ever were going to sting your face, I wouldn't just jump from your back to your face, on purpose, but you creep, you know, you do a testing, and this would be definitely like a 1-second sting,
Okay.
you know, type thing.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
okay, so in 20 minutes, we'll take those out, and now,
Would you recommend working on her scar?
yeah, I would work on your scar too, you know, start with, that's a good one to start with too, but also here too.
Okay.
You know, going across the scar. Yeah, I would work there, because it blocks energy. Are you okay?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
You still have your stings in?
Why? No, my stingers are out.
Okay.
You're getting redder.
Just
You're
even
getting
around
red.
here. Yeah.
I'm getting more red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting more red. Yeah.
So if you're used to taking, and that's, oh, is that the Benadryl?
Yeah.
Oh, you gave her Benadryl, okay. Okay, now I can relax. Now I can relax. Yeah, so children's liquid Benadryl, liquid because it gets in the system faster, children's because it has no alcohol. Remember, we can't do alcohol with bee sting same time, so that's why we can't do adult Benadryl. There's alcohol in that. If you can, I mean, there's no reason to make alcohol in it. They don't need it, but, and they don't really need the dye in this either. Yeah, because of the alcohol. All right. Okay, so you ready to get yours?
I'm ready to
How are
take
you
them down.
feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Describe
go.
it. You can move around?
Yeah, feeling good.
Feeling good? Okay, excellent.
I'm ready to go home. Yeah, as soon as I get home. In my feet.
Okay, so it was just one, right?
Yeah, I think there was only one.
Okay, just one sting and she feels good. Okay. Okay.
And then it's amazing. My muscle has relaxed in
Okay.
that spot.
I want you to say it into here.
It's amazing. My muscle in the spot that you stung me has relaxed.
It's relaxed. So bee venom relaxes tight muscles. Great. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She has some nice small little wheels, but they're still there. See, you look better already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difference.
Big difference.
Did I have wheels on with a?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You did.
I didn't know if it was just one big red mass.
Squeeze it.
Well, it was pretty. Your whole back looked like you had a really bad sunburn. Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't want to take a chance because you have a long drive and I think you're by yourself, so I don't want to take a chance.
Bee sting removal? Removal?
Still got your stingers in?
Big guy.
Come on up, come on up.
Get up
Get
here.
your stinger out.
So my question is, how does your back feel?
Feels like you got stung by a damn bee.
Wait. No. Tell the truth. Does it feel better?
Oh, it's real brave, and then you do it again.
Last time you got stung?
No, I'll go out and work my bees.
Eric, if you can bring like more knocking, we need more knocking because he has 6 to remove.
Okay. You're all set. But it's very nice. Nice and red.
Yeah, you
Okay.
managed to get it. It's gonna be interesting later on tonight.
Yeah, later on in the night to see how you feel. Let me know.
I will.
Okay.
I'll mail you this.
All right, great. Thank you so much for videotaping. We all appreciate his videotaping.
I need some knocking.
Lean down the top on the.
What fell? What spilled?
Somebody have some something.
Oh.
The soapy water.
Can I ask you a question about the bees when you get a moment?
Yeah, let me just,
So can you look at this and can I take any more stings today?
no, we're not gonna. Okay, so it went, you know, the redness went down, but, and it's still dark, so, you know, I mean,
Next time I could go for
you
like
could,
5.
yeah, you could do as many as you want, you know,
Okay.
as many as you feel ready for.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, ready to take yours out?
Sure.
Yeah, now I need 2 napkins for him, because I don't have enough napkins for him.
Okay, dear.
Okay, so in this case, we're pretending that this is a Lyme patient who's having 6 sting treatment, okay? Maybe he's been doing this for a while and he's up to 6 stings, and there are 3 on each side of the spine. Okay, so I'm just going to put down my microphone and I'm going to take out the stingers.
Hello, hello.
Put your glasses on.
Hello.
Turn it on.
Uh-oh.
I think it shut off when it went down. Always the jokester, right, Jackie?
Yeah, you know, you guys know better.
Okay, here's the garbage. Okay, so how do you feel?
Good. It's nothing. I'm just used to getting stung, so I guess I don't know. I don't feel cured yet.
You're not cured? Well, I don't use the word cure anyway, so you would never get cured by me. You just go into recovery,
Okay.
which is good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for being who you are. So whoever was I don't know who it was, but the guy who was just the jokester, Eric, I think that was you. Eric, I want to tell you something. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, have a seat in my waiting room chair. Okay.
Man, I'm in grade
Now-
school already.
Okay, wow. Looks like you've been stung by bees, right? Or out in the sun. No. What I want to tell you is that the fire element in Chinese medicine is all about laughter and joy and being sort of the life of the party and being somebody called you a jokester. And I just want to point out that, like, you're a perfect example of the fire element at its best, you know, like you make jokes, you make everybody happy, you know, it's nice. And I just want to acknowledge that. So, but this is an example of the fire element, you know.
Bee stings.
Yeah, must be all. Do you know they've done surveys where beekeepers lose the fewest days of sick days? They've done various surveys all over the world, and beekeepers are the healthiest people on the planet. So? But
I got a question for you. I can't have stings today because last night I had a couple beers after the meeting.
right.
But I have
Put the microphone.
I have a torn rotator, and my shoulder. This one it hurts. This one not so bad. But yesterday I had to carry hives off a roof, and this is acting up today. It's like hard to go up. Like right here it hurts. What locations? I mean, I can get stung. I mean, I've been stung as many as 50 times, 80 times.
I would sting where it hurts for you in your case.
Okay.
You know, focus on the shoulder and the arm. You know,
Like right
just
on this
see.
point here
Yeah,
where it hurts.
yeah, and make a decision how many stings you want to do. Make a decision how many stings. Let's say I want to do 5 stings or something like that, and then pick the 5 points that hurt the most. I mean,
around that area.
yeah, in that area, I'd focus. In this case, I would sting where it hurts. You know, because it's, you know, it's. I mean, you may have had this problem before, but it seems like it's, you know, it's due to some physical activity
Yeah,
that
it's chronic. It just, you know, it goes
Yeah,
and
just
comes and yeah.
comes and goes whenever you have to.
Some days it keeps me up at night. Some days it doesn't bother me at all.
Right. So some days it keeps him up at night, and other times it's not an issue. So it's a chronic condition, but it comes and goes, which is like what I talked about before, wind, you know, when aches and pains move around and come and go. So, but in your case, I would sting where it hurts. And the three-heater pathway, which is part of the fire element, is exactly where you're kind of describing. And so since you're a jokester and since your nature is to be happy and upbeat and wanting to, you know, make jokes and make people happy, you know, if you sting on some of the fire pathways, you're more likely to, you know, hit the nail on the head rather than just stinging randomly. But, you know, what Charlie Mraz would do, my mentor, he would take not even this kind of a pen, but he would just take a ballpoint pen and he would just go on your shoulder and he would, you know, want to take your shirt off, show off your,
There you go.
and so he would go like this and he would say, tell me when it hurts.
It's more out.
Out further.
It's like in around this area.
Right around, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Right in there?
Yeah.
Okay. What Charlie Mraz would do, he'd go like this. It's not even working because of the sweat. But he would make a big X. That's what my teacher would do. Make a big X, you know. And then he would make all his X's, and then he'd come back and do all his stings. You know, that's how he did it. But in this case, you know, you're good enough to,
I'll find them.
or your wife can help you. You know, you can catch the bee on the tweezer, and then.
Yeah, I always try to catch them with my fingers. I always get stung.
Oh. Well,
It
comes
get me
with the
before
territory. Yeah, so that's why I buy, you know, the tweezers. It's just a little easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So he doesn't have to put one up in the corresponding spot on the spine, away from the spine, just in the actual trigger?
No, he's had so many stings that he can pretty much go anywhere on his body. So because of that,
Been stung just about anywhere on my body.
yeah, and for years and years. So basically he can kind of go wherever he wants to go, where it hurts, you know. Whereas with your husband, he's not used to bee stings, so I wouldn't do the neck right away, because you do the neck and he gets like a really bad maybe headache or something, and he'll go like, this is the last time I'm telling you now, I'm never going to do this again, you know? So we don't want that to happen. So that's why we stay on the trunk of the body, on the torso, we stay on, you know, below the neck and above the waist. You look so much better. I feel so relaxed. Now I feel better, okay? So most people who are just beginning and they're not beekeepers, you see, this is a special group here of beekeepers, you know, or maybe, and a few friends or something. But basically, most people that I work with, they've never been stung before, and they're not used to the venom. And so they really, if you do too much, if you go too high on the neck, if you go too low on the spine, if you go to the hands and feet too early, that's it. You lose them, and they lose the benefit of the miracle of bee venom therapy, because it is such a miracle. It's God's medicine. You know, it's like this is God's work, you know, and it's magic. Yes, hi.
When I get stung, I swell up.
You do?
Yeah, so does that mean anything?
Where do you swell up? All over?
Wherever I get stung.
Just where you get stung? That's a local reaction. It's no big deal. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, that's not, you know, what I was worried with her was that she was getting red in places where she wasn't stung. So if you get stung on your wrist, but your whole arm swells up, that's still a local reaction. But if you get stung on your back and your palms get red, that's what I call, in Chinese medicine, it's called.
How would I be able to do apitherapy on myself, or
You would,
if I did it to someone else?
Yeah.
I mean, do you just say, sorry, you're not a candidate?
No, I would say that you have to just do testings maybe for a month. Maybe twice a week.
That's
and
pretty
let
much
their
my life. I'm getting stung that often.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not getting testings, are you? Or you mean you're
Actually
taking?
getting stung.
No, but I mean, are you taking the stinger out right away, or you just keep?
If I can, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
What does, certain, like, we had a guy, Perchenko,
Yeah.
years ago come in, and he was saying, there's things that you can be eating, like he says, number one, be fully hydrated. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. And then there's also certain, I think he was mentioning propolis or this or that you can be ingesting that your body would naturally be developing antibodies for. So when you do get stung, your reaction is less.
Right.
Is that?
Well, it depends. I mean, for a Lyme patient, any of those products are going to cause herxing. So it depends on, if we're just talking about a beekeeper who's healthy and doesn't have any issues, that's really different than a Lyme patient. They take a tiny bit of propolis and, they get a herxing reaction where they're in.
What is herxing?
Herxing is a flu-like symptoms. It's a short word for Herxheimer reaction, where you're having die-off, the spirochetes. The melatonin in the bee venom is killing the Lyme spirochetes, and therefore you're getting die-off. Like have you heard of candida? Like people have candida or yeast infections and things like that. If you've got some kind of infection and you take an antibiotic, you might not feel that great while you're on the antibiotic. Do you follow me?
Right.
So the antibiotic is killing off those pathogens. So the same thing happens with bees. There's things, the components in the bees that kill off the pathogens.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it's a good thing. It's just not fun. It's a good thing because you want to kill the Lyme spirochetes,
Right.
but you have to do it 3 times a week. If you do it twice a week, and the bee venom only lasts in you 48 hours, then the spirochetes start to multiply again.
Right.
So you're like reinventing the wheel every time you try to start stinging.
I had some customers that were coming and buying bees from me
For Lyme?
for Lyme disease. I'd fill up their little cages and,
Yeah, they're little bee buddies.
They'd stay awake or stay alive for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my bees generally stay alive for about 2 weeks in a jar. Yeah.
And that's how they started staying themselves. And one lady I told about this class, she's been diagnosed for a couple of years or a few years, and she just started 3-4 months ago. And she says her ability to do things now is amazing, and she's like so impressed with it. I said, well, you got to come up and at least tell your story so people will see it. But she had a previous engagement, couldn't make it, I guess.
I see.
So, but it's, she's having great results, after years and years. And then her friend, she had Lyme disease since she was a kid, they think, and it's never been diagnosed until recently. So, and she's feeling better, less fatigued and less able to go do things now.
Right. Yes.
I have a question. I also have sacroiliac joint dysfunction.
Sacroiliac joint dysfunction,
Yeah,
okay?
So it's basically arthritis in there, and it causes radiating pain. So if I wanted, how would I go about?
I would go to the very top of where it feels like it's radiating from, like where it feels like it's beginning,
Okay.
and do a blitz there.
But you're talking about the butt muscle. Is it going to penetrate through the muscle to get to the joint? It will.
It will, yeah.
Okay, so like the
There's
top of the
something else.
gland?
There's something else you can take too that gets to the bones. There are 2 things. Something called MSM, if you're not allergic to sulfur, that gets to the bone pain, and also stevia that I talked about last night. Yeah, stevia is, it just busts right through biofilms.
Right where it hurts at the electrode?
Yeah, I would sting right where it hurts. But if you look in some of the acupuncture books, or if you go on Google and you look at different acupuncture points, usually it's either the gallbladder or the bladder, the urinary bladder, that go through the glute muscle, the muscles of the buttocks and that area. And you could take a look at the pathways and see which ones you want to work on that seem to be closer. Supposedly, acupuncture points, when you sting them, are 80% more powerful than just stinging randomly. So if you actually really got on an acupuncture point, it would make a big difference. Like somebody here, well, was it you that I was stinging your scar and you said it went all the way down your leg? Okay, so I probably hit a point, an acupuncture point, because we were on the scar, but there's a meridian there. It's called the governor vessel or the dew vessel, DU, and it just goes from the tailbone just straight up over the head, and it exits right in the frenulum in the mouth. I wouldn't sting there, but you know, if you sting that scar, you know what? You might be surprised that your other aches and pains go away once you unblock the scar, but you have to get rid of that scar.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Thank you.
How much time do we have? Are we keep going? Okay. All right. You had a question.
Yes, you mentioned a lot about, excuse me, vein varicosities, but on spider veins, how would you treat that? I am covered in spider veins on my legs after I had H. pylori. They had me on heavy-duty antibiotics 3 years ago, and I broke out with spider veins and I went and had like a Doppler done on my legs. My circulation and everything is fine, but I am literally covered. And I did have them zapped with saline, but I have 3 times more now than I had before.
Okay.
But I mean, that's like
So
everywhere.
spider veins, it's kind of like we're going full circle, where we started off this morning talking about the spleen and varicose veins and spider veins. When the blood vessels are not holding the blood in its place, it's like the blood vessels or the capillaries or whatever it is, they've prolapsed. They're sort of collapsed. They're not holding the blood where it's supposed to be. And also, I don't know if it happens that often with men, but with women, I know after childbirth, sometimes you get things like a prolapsed uterus, or you're diagnosed with that, or a prolapsed bladder. Like it's sort of like your body is just not holding things in its place, and it's like gravity is just pulling it out of where it should be, and that's the spleen. So I would take a look at, if you have the handout that has the acupuncture pathways, or go on Google or look in the workbook, it'll show you where the spleen meridian is. And when you said H. pylori, that's the stomach. Spleen and the stomach are brother and sister in Chinese medicine. They go together. They're part of the earth element. So what you want to do is you want to go out in the garden, you want to not wear any shoes, you want to have your feet feel the earth, you know, so that would be like an earth treatment. You go barefoot, you know, digging in the earth, you know, just be one with the earth. And if you're going to do some stings on yourself on purpose, I would take a look at, and it doesn't have to be where the spider veins are, okay? It could be, you could start in the trunk of your body, like stomach 25, there's, well, even on the side of the leg, stomach 36 are very famous acupuncture points. And then there's spleen points as well.
Can they actually deplete, or it just prevents from more?
They can actually have the spleen, you want to tonify, so you want to start on the left side of the body, because that's tonification. So you want to make the spleen stronger. When the spleen is stronger, you don't need to, you won't have those collapses. Okay. So they'll just, like the scars, they'll just...
Will it absorb itself, in other words?
Yeah, they'll disappear, because the spleen is now holding everything in place. Okay. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Good question. Yes?
With a reaction like she had, if you know they're not going into anaphylactic shock, could you treat it with homeopathic apis? You could do apis. Apis and Benadryl will basically negate the venom. So in a sense,
if you were just a beekeeper and you weren't trying to use this as medicine, you know, you might want to carry some apis with you or some Benadryl with you, you know, in your purse or whatever. But the problem comes if you want to use it as medicine, how do you get beyond that? It's a systemic reaction, but it's not severe. It's not severe enough. So what it makes me wonder if you're having enough vitamin C in general. And if you're not, in general, if you're not having vitamin C, then I would just go to the health food store and buy some vitamin C. Because most of the beekeepers that I've met that have had reactions like yours, or that looked a little bit more like hives, where they were like really splotchy and blotchy, you know, they increased their vitamin C 3 to 4 to 5,000 milligrams a day. The whole thing went away. And then you can use it as medicine. But I think first you have to kind of figure out how, you know, how to get a hold of why your body's, you know, reacting that way. And most of the people that I know that have had that problem, who are beekeepers, aren't having enough vitamin C. But like something, I think it was Eric was saying, somebody said, you know, about being hydrated and all of that. And you're tall and you're thin, you know? And I don't know. I don't know you, but I don't know if you get enough, you know, fluids in your body. And what's happening is when you get stung by a honeybee, it stimulates the adrenal gland to start off with to produce cortisol. And if you don't have the vitamin C in there, that your body is frantically, and I mean like an urgency, like you're at a movie theater and it's on fire, or there's a terrorist attack or something, and you're trying to get out of the building. That's how frantic the adrenal glands are. You know, they're frantic to make that cortisol, and they can't make it because they don't have the raw ingredient, which is the vitamin C. And that's why the vitamin C is so important. And as I said, I think yesterday and possibly this morning, if I had $1 for every phone call, I'm doing bee venom therapy 6 months, not noticing any changes, I'd be a millionaire. Because that's, if I had to pick one thing that prevents people from getting well using this as medicine, it's the lack of vitamin C. So what happens is that the person who trained the person who's doing it, they didn't tell them about the vitamin C. Or if they did, it went in one ear and out the other. They didn't harp on it. That's why I'm making a big deal of this vitamin C.
Do you always keep it at the 3,000 milligrams no matter how many times you've done it?
Yeah. You do it depends. I mean, if you're very tall and you're a little overweight, I might do 4,000.
Yeah, but always at least.
But I would say at least 3,000 milligrams. Every beekeeper should be doing at least 3,000 milligrams a day, because
Juices won't do it?
no, it just, I mean, it's like literally orange, you know, and one orange has 85 milligrams.
So how much
You
stevia
know?
do you put with it? How much stevia?
How much stevia? Oh, just whatever's on the bottle. I use a specific brand, but it has alcohol in it. So what you have to do if you're getting stung is you have to burn off that alcohol or let it evaporate. But the brand that Eva Sappi, who's a medical doctor in Connecticut, she uses for Lyme disease and anything else where she's trying to bust biofilms, she uses Nutramedix is the name of the brand. But there are people here that, that swear by just, you go to the health food store and you just get little packets. But I think the one that's called Truvia has like preservatives in it. It has other things in it. It's sort of like you don't want to have aspartame and things like that. It's sort of like there's some stevias out there that they're making them and it's not really the real thing. So there's very little stevia in it and probably a lot of sweet and low or equal or aspartame or something else, to make it a sweet or something. But if you're going to use a tincture, that's in a bottle and it has alcohol, you want to evaporate it, overnight, or you want to, burn it off. Like you could put it in, pour some hot water over it. But I would, if you're using Nutrimetics, I would evaporate it, because I have heard that you're not supposed to put Nutrimetic stevia in like a hot drink, and you're not supposed to put it near lemon. So a lot of people who have Lyme disease drink a lot of lemon water, and they use sometimes sea salt or Celtic salt or something with it, for all the electrolytes. And so if you're putting stevia in that mix with lemon, that particular brand of stevia doesn't, it sort of negates it. The lemon negates it, and if you put it in a hot drink. So if you're going to evaporate the alcohol, I'd probably do it just by leaving it out overnight.
How about the plant itself? I have the stevia.
The plant itself I think is very good. I just don't know if it's, if you don't have Lyme disease, if you're not trying to kill a pathogen, it's probably, just fine to use a plant. But if you're using it as a biofilm buster, like you're trying to bust through, those biofilms, then you really want something very, very concentrated and very strong. And my understanding is this Nutrimetics one, I don't make a dollar off everyone who buys that. Just it would be nice to have the ones for the phone calls, but basically that's supposed to be, they've done research, that's supposed to be the one that's best for like Lyme disease or any co-infections or anything where you're trying to kill something.
What is I have a couple of questions. What is the best Lyme test? Is it still Western blot?
Well, I just recently took a different one, and it's called C3A. And I believe that Quest is the best lab to do it.
Oh, okay.
C3A is for Lyme, and C4A is for mold. And so C3A, if for some reason your Western blot, the best laboratory to get a Western blot, if you're going to do that, if you're going to go that route, is IGeneX lab in California, Palo Alto. But if you want to do the C3A, you'd have to get a prescription from your doctor saying you want to test for Lyme. You heard that if you test C3A, it makes a big difference. And both my husband and I just took that test, and we passed. I mean, we don't have any Lyme, and I've had it twice already, so.
Okay. And then the other question, which of your books would be a good basic book that covers the majority of stuff? I've told the workbook.
Well, the workbook focuses on the acupuncture portion of it, so it's a little more advanced. The Pioneers, the first Pioneers book, is like a beginner's book. So it has the protocol, but the protocol we gave away for free is more updated than the book, because the book is almost a year old now, and I've made some changes in the protocol in terms of, helping people understand it better. So I've made it clearer, and I've added extra things. So if you took a copy of the protocol, that's for free. If you got one of those, that's good. And then you might want to just start with the beginners. We have plenty, I think, over there. One is, are there any over there?
There are a bunch of the Pioneers book.
Okay, so we have some of the Pioneers book. Barry packed them up, but we have two versions because they sold out of Amazon, so we had to make them ourselves. And so they made a mistake, and they made one of them has a flaw, and so there's a line going down the side, so that's $20, and the pristine one is $25. So it's really very reasonable.
So is the Lyme, so it said it was focusing more on Lyme,
But that's the basic protocol that you would use for any autoimmune disease, even with arthritis. And you can always, grab my card and get my email and just write to me and just ask me questions. I'm happy to answer questions. Yes.
What about Parkinson's disease?
Parkinson's. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. How much time? I have 1 minute? Over. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to say is my first 4 years I spent working with MS. And then all of a sudden, a lot of my patients started getting Parkinson's. The same patients. And where you sting is the shoulders and the neck. Shoulders and the neck.
Do you do a test first, like you did today, on either side of the spine?
Well, with any illness, you stay on the trunk of the body. You don't go to the neck right away. So you start with the regular protocol, okay? I would say 3 months on the mid-back, and then you go to the neck, 1 testing per session. You follow the protocol. If you have that free protocol, you don't even need a book. You know, you could just follow that protocol. And that's the protocol for Parkinson's, because a lot of people who have Parkinson's really have Lyme. So Parkinson's most of the time is Lyme. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you everybody for coming. And love you all, and love you all my friends who are going to be watching this video. Love you and miss you, and sorry I missed my nephew's wedding. Okay? Be well.